Hi, I'm Catherine Porter. I'm an attorney here in California with over 20 years of litigation experience, and I'm also the founder and principal consultant at The Resource Woman. We help law firms set up systems so that their cases run smoothly, efficiently, and profitably. If you've seen my videos or you've talked to me, you probably know that I like to use a platform called ClickUp to manage matters. And so today I'm going to talk about one of the aspects of ClickUp that can be confusing to new users, and that is how ClickUp is set up with that hierarchy. Now, a good analogy is the old school paper and pencil. And, you probably have legal pads lying around. You've got your tasks list. This is everything related to this case. And you've got another one over here related to that case. And so you've got lists all over the place. And it can get really messy really quickly. So what do? Well, you put things that relate to each other in a folder. And so you've got your folder with your lists in it that all relate to a particular matter. And then you've got lots of folders. And then what do you do with those? You maybe want to organize those. So you put them in a red well or something like that. So you've got your you just kind of get bigger and bigger groupings of things. And, maybe you have business operations and you have lists related to that. And you have, professional development, CLE and issue and to-do lists related to that. Marketing, things like that. So you might have all these different things and you want to think, how do you want those to be grouped? So I've got my folders that all relate to client work. I want them in a certain cabinet, and everything related to my business operations, accounting, payroll, that sort of thing, I want that to be grouped in another cabinet. And then, so my professional development, maybe I want that in a separate cabinet as well. The same thing in ClickUp. So let's hop over to ClickUp and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so ClickUp has the same type of thing. We've got tasks, which are the basis of ClickUp, and you can even create subtasks. So if you have, your trial brief, let's say, what are the steps to get that trial brief done? What are the tasks that relate to that? Maybe we need to research a causation issue. So I'm going to put that causation issue, and that is a subtask. I can assign it to someone. I can set a deadline, a due date, all these things, and it's related to the trial brief. So just like in the real world with your paper and pencil lists or your Excel lists, if you've upgraded to that, and you can see like the different tasks that need to go in to create this, to finish this one other bigger task. So I've got my trial brief there, I've got my subtask, and then I've got all my other trial related tasks here in my trial prep list. Now, we obviously want to know what trial this was referring to, so I want to put that trial prep list with all the other lists for a particular matter in a matter folder. So now I've got this Stanley v. Sunrise, it's just a made-up matter, and my trial prep list is sitting in that folder. And then I have multiple folders that all relate to client work. So I've grouped them under the space, which is right here, and that is the client work. And you can see I've got my contacts, like a people list kind of thing. I've got business operations, professional development. I've got spaces for those. So again, the space for... Now, one thing to know on ClickUp, you can actually have a list that is not in a folder. And I've got a sample of that over here with my demo list. And that just, so sometimes there's maybe temporary projects that don't relate to a particular matter. They're still under the heading client work. So you can put those in their own list as miscellaneous or something like that. So again, the ClickUp hierarchy in a nutshell, we have subtasks and tasks. Our tasks live in lists, our lists live in folders, and our folders live in a space. And it's important to keep this in mind because it can get confusing when you're trying to look at different things in ClickUp. You always want to know where you are in the hierarchy. So where people can run into problems with lists and folders and spaces is how they're looking at things. So if I'm looking at the folder list and then I've got these different views over here, I've got the overview, I've got a calendar, I've got something if it's overdue, and that's going to show me things, all the things that are overdue or that need to be dealt with in a certain way in every list within the folder. But like, let's say I just want to look at law in motion. So I'm like, okay, I can scroll down here and look at law in motion, but it's just showing me, so I can expand that here. I've got some tasks. I can see what's being drafted and different status of things, but some of the other pieces I don't really capture because I'm looking at this at the folder level. Whereas if I go down to my list, I can capture more information. I could add a comment, a latest comments field if I want to know. And look, I've got these comments that pop up. And then maybe I want to look at, let's see, what else could we put here? The stages of this law of motion. So I'm just going to set these custom fields. This one is drafting, so it should probably be drafting. This one is not started, but I'm going to say it actually needs research and things like that. So you get that information. You're not going to capture that at the folder level. You could, but then that gets really messy for reasons I won't go into here. But you can have these custom fields that relate specifically to the tasks on that list. And if you want to see those, you need to go to the list level. You're not going to see those at the folder level necessarily. So one of the useful features is accessibility. So by having everything on the cloud, we have the ability to grant access to everyone involved. But we can also control who gets access at each level. We can control who can see the space. We can control who sees the folders. We can control who sees certain lists. So we have that kind of customizable ability. You know, maybe your accounting department doesn't need to see the law of motion list of the Stanley v. Sunrise matter or whatever it is. So, so that helps to like limit. So people are only really going to see the things they need to see that relate to their own daily tasks. So that's the ClickUp hierarchy in a nutshell. And if you have any questions or I can have any comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you heard and you'd like to have more ideas of how you can use ClickUp to manage your matters effortlessly and so easy they practically manage themselves. Until next time.